our rankings are out. We're about to fight, see who has the better rankings. First up, Keoni and myself battling over Adam Thielen.
Round one, fight.
Okay. So we all know Adam Thielen is the number one guy on this Panthers offense. Since week 2, he is averaging 10.5 targets per game. I know it might seem high for me to put him at 11, but this is not uncharted territory for Thielen this season. In weeks 3, 5, and 6, against some of his easier matchups of the season, much like it is with Tennessee, he finished as the wide receiver 3, 4, and 2. He had a touchdown and over 100 yards and 11 receptions in each of those games. Even if he doesn't do, one or two of those things, I think he at least can get in the end zone with a good, 80 or so yards and around 9 or so catches. And that's, 20 plus points in fantasy. That's a good chance at being a wide receiver 1. And Tennessee, the 25th ranked defense versus wide receivers, they allow nearly 40 fantasy points per game to the position. They've allowed the 7th most receiving yards per game with 188, and they are tied for the 5th most receptions allowed with 148 so far this season. They've given up an average of a touchdown per game to receivers. I think most of this could definitely apply to the far and ahead number 1 receiver on the Panthers versus a defense that is not good at stopping that position. So I think he will return to that early, type of season performance going against a really good matchup.
I don't disagree, but and Adam Thielen is a play this week. I have him at 23, wide receiver 23 this week. I just think that even with the targets, I mean, he's seen like 11 targets, 10 targets, 6, 11 targets, 13 targets a game, he's definitely proven me wrong before the season. My take on him was completely wrong, that he was done. He's fantasy relevant. The problem is he hasn't really broken off since before their bye week. He hasn't scored a touchdown since before their bye week. And even with 74 yards and 8 catches, he still finished as the wide receiver 21. He really needs all of those catches and the touchdown to really produce as that wide receiver 1. And yes, it can happen. It's a great matchup against Tennessee, and you're starting him, so good for you if you have him. But I'm just not counting on that touchdown. And so I got him as a wide receiver 2 instead of a wide receiver 1. Our next fight, me versus Ryan, and we're gonna fight about Tony Pollard.
Final round, fight.
All right, I got. What's up?
I thought we were fighting over Mostert. That's funny. I forgot. It's Pollard.
Yeah.
Let's fight with both of them.
We could. I'm
Double
high on
running back.
Mostert. You're high on Pollard, and it's almost exactly switched. Where I have Pollard as a running back 2, and you have Mostert as a running back 2. I got Mostert as RB1. You got Pollard as RB1.
You guys could just make your case for why, essentially, a start-sit argument kind of. Ryan says why Mostert is better this week than Pollard, and you say why Pollard's better than
No.
or the other way,
I
whatever it
say
is.
Mostert sucks. That's not true. But he's not going to be good this week, and Pollard's going to be better than him. Reason why? Mostert over last month hasn't had any receptions, really. If you actually look, last time he had more than 3 was week 4. And going against this Jets defense, who does give up points to the running back position, but they just muck up the game so much, it's hard for me to think that the Dolphins offense is really going. Pollard last week, coming off the best week of the season, scoring the first touchdown he scored since week 1. What I also like, 4 receptions, 5 targets, going against a Washington team that gave up 2 of their best edge rushers and kind of have slowly but surely started to give up on the season. You started to hear the rumors about Ron Rivera getting fired. Cowboys are hot. This offense is cooking. They know how important Tony Pollard is going to be. And not just that, Tony Pollard looked the freshest he looked all season last week. Breaking tackles, the 10-yard run to get that touchdown was nasty, carrying people. It doesn't matter. Tony Pollard's back. And I love his next two matchups for sure. He's a top 10 RB for me.
I understand. I'm not saying Tony Pollard's bad, but Tony Pollard needs that second guy behind him to really, or person in front of him whenever Zeke was there, to really come in and relieve him, because whenever it's just him, it's not that great. Rico Dowdle, questionable. Who knows if he actually plays? So that's, I mean, he's been playing better, but Rico's also been playing better, and I think that has a little bit to do with it. Pollard's good, and I agree with you. Washington, great matchup for him. I think he's a start, just not a RB1. Mostert, on the other hand, Devon A-Chain, probably not going to play. Still dealing with that knee injury. Savon Ahmed hit IR, so he won't be playing for sure. So that leaves Mostert and Jeff Wilson pretty much. And so Mostert is going to be carrying the ball, I don't know, 20 times in the game. So yeah, he doesn't get as many catches. I don't know, only 2 targets or so. But I'll take 20 touches on this Miami offense, and we've seen Mostert has the ability to get in the end zone over and over again. I think with the Jets offense the way it is, and shambles like it is, this defense is going to be on the field a ton, and it's going to get harder and harder to stop this Miami offense.